morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to the beautiful Woodbridge Community Center and the opening of the Mayor's Senior Summit. Right now, I'd like to introduce our great mayor, Mayor John McCormick.
Thank you very much, Vito. This is our 10th straight Senior Summit. It's our 10th straight a lot of things. Our 10th straight Senior Olympics, our 10th straight fluke tournament, our 10th straight fishing derby for the kids. So many things we started way back in 2007. Now we're having their 10th anniversary in 2006, including this great Senior Summit. So we really appreciate you coming here. We really like to do this. We like to keep you informed about everything going on. And more importantly, people that can't make it here have the TV to look at to see what's happening. I'd like to introduce some people in the audience. Well, Dennis Green is our health director. To my left is our great Congressman Frank Pallone, who will speak in a minute. He's on a pretty tight schedule. Your congressman came to Woodbridge to talk to you. I think that's pretty impressive. So let's hear for Congressman Pallone. You heard from our Councilman Greg Ficarra. From this recreation staff, Liz Longenhagen. I don't like Liz anymore.
You healthy?
No, we had this Fitbit challenge, right? And it's like playing golf with the boss. You're supposed to let the boss win, right? Or you play tennis with the boss. You're supposed to let the boss win. Yes, you are. Liz did not let me win. Stop clapping for Liz. There I was, a little bit ahead of her, and all of a sudden, boom, she started doing 30-something thousand steps a day, and she passed me, and she finished 4th in the competition. I finished 7th, which is not bad for an old guy. But Liz finished 4th. So what I wanted to do, I told Vito, who's her boss, when I started seeing her creep up on me, I wanted Vito to reassign her and put her in the lobby in a desk and a chair and have her sit there for 8 hours every day. And I was going to give her overtime to sit and greet people. Wouldn't she be a great greeter? Right? She's got a dynamic, bubbly personality. I was going to let her sit in the lobby all day and greet people and not walk. Because she walks for her job, and every break she gets, she run around the track and go on the treadmill. It's not fair. She works next to a treadmill on a track. I was doomed. I couldn't possibly win. So we're going to do it again sometime in the fall, and I have a plan for Liz for the fall. And it will not include beating the mayor. Are our police guys here, Bob and Joe? I don't see them. We also have Casey from the mayor's office, Billy and Marina from the mayor's office. And you have a whole host of great vendors here. So now what I'd like to do is turn the microphone over to Congressman Pallone. Since he is on a tight schedule, we're lucky he's here this week because they're off in Washington. Let me ask Congressman Frank Pallone to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me just compliment the mayor because of all that he does, not only for seniors, but so many things in Woodbridge. There's just so much going on here. Whenever I come at the rec center here, there's just so many things going on, and I see he's doing something else with the veterans and the military in the next couple of weeks. So this is his kind of hallmark. He's always so active in trying to provide services to all of you in Woodbridge Township. Mayor, nobody on my staff ever lets me win either. I have to tell you that. Anybody who works for me, they never let me win. But the problem is that I do end up sitting around and at the desk all day and not getting enough exercise. So when I come here, all I keep thinking is that I have to get over here and try to run around this track, or at least walk around the track. But so far I haven't done it, unfortunately. But maybe one day. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that have been happening in Washington that relate to senior citizens. I'm not going to talk too long. I think a lot of you know that a few years ago we passed the Affordable Care Act, and one of the things in the Affordable Care Act was that the donut hole for prescription drugs on the Medicare Part D keeps getting reduced. In other words, 4 or 5 years ago, after you reached a certain point in the year, if you were expending money for so many drugs by September or October, you would lose your prescription drug benefit. And what we're doing is to cutting that back. Now 50% of that donut hole is filled In the next few years, it'll get up to 0, which means that you'll have full coverage for prescription drugs other than the copayment, other than the 20% copayment. So that's ongoing. The other thing is that, a lot of seniors ask me, well, what's going on with Medicare? Is it going to run out of money? Fact of the matter is that with the Affordable Care Act, we saved enough money in the Medicare Trust Fund so that it doesn't actually start to be reduced if we don't do anything until 2030 for another 15 years. So the problem about, people tell you, oh, and then you get some of these flyers in the mail that say the trust fund's going to run out of money. That is not the case. I mean, there isn't any problem at all until 2030, and hopefully between now and then, which is another 15 years, we can address the problem. The other thing I wanted to mention, some of you have actually written to me about the Older Americans Act. That's the legislation that provides for Meals on Wheels and a lot of the senior programs at the senior center. We are in the process of reauthorizing that. And so I know people write, when are you going to pass it? We actually have a proposal that's both bipartisan, Democrats, Republicans, Senate, and House to actually reauthorize it. So I think we're going to be okay with that as well. The other thing a lot of people mention to me is the Social Security. They worry about, is that going to run out of money, and particularly the COLA, because for a couple of years, we didn't have any increase in the COLA. What I would like to see is to change the way that COLA is done so that it's more responsive, if you will, to the actual cost that you pay for food or rent. The problem with the COLA right now is that it's based on a cost of living or inflation factor that is really not linked to what seniors pay, but is more linked to like the gross national product or the stock market or other things that are not necessarily relevant to seniors. So I'd like to see some changes in the COLA, because if you do that and it reflects more your actual cost for things like food or housing, then you won't see, hopefully, these years go by where there's no increase in the COLA. So those are just some of the things I wanted to mention. I think a lot of times people think, well, all they do is fight in Washington and we don't actually do anything. The reality is we actually do quite a bit, and a lot of it is bipartisan. Last year we passed that change for the Medicare doctor reimbursement rate. You remember how we would always worry every year the doctors would complain sometimes they wouldn't take Medicare. Well, we changed that, and so now, there is like a slight increase every year for doctors. And you may say, well, why do the doctors need an increase? But if they don't get some increase, then they don't take Medicare. So, that's important that we do that. So again, I have to say, seniors write to me and contact my office more than any other group. And please continue to do so, because the only way that I find out what problems you have or what we can do to improve your lives is if I hear from you. So that's one of the reasons I like to come around to these things, and one of the reasons I'm so happy that your mayor, Mayor McCormick, always has the senior summit, because it's an opportunity for us to hear from you, which is so important. So thanks again, Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you, Congressman. Just a couple quick commercials. We have our Senior Police Academy starting soon with Joel Schlossberg, our Community Affairs Officer. We just finished in Evergreen the Gladiator Games, which I thought were fantastic. How many of you were there or saw it or participated? It was the middle school students that used the youth center against the seniors who use the senior center. And there was 5 different games: cornhole, pool, ping pong, Wii bowling, and which I thought the kids were going to win, frankly, because they, computers and all that. I thought the kids were going to win, but you guys smoked them. And then there was the dance-off at the end where I thought, 6th graders, they could do, come up with a good routine. You guys killed them. So that was a lot of fun. They started calling it the first annual, but I think it was so good we'll probably do it more frequently than annually. I thought it's exactly what we thought when the youth center opened. And a lot of the seniors thought it was going to infringe upon their time and their space. It really never did, because they came in the later afternoon when the senior center started slowing down. So it was perfect, intergenerational, activities, which I envisioned way back when, and it really came true the other day, and it was a lot of fun. The Saturday starts the 37th annual Senior Art Show. Some of that art, you got some people over at Evergreen. What's that, Andy with the cowboy hat? Man, that guy could draw. Ellie Winstanley, she can paint. You got some really, really talented people. So that show will start this Saturday at Barron Arts and last for a couple of weeks. The Senior Olympics are going to be held here again, September 9th, 10th, and 11th. There's events there. If you're not as active, there's events there you can find that are more sedentary, even if you just want to shoot darts or play horseshoes or bocce. It's so many different events, track and field, swimming. So there's a lot happening. So please take a look at that. Our farmers market opens up in June again. The farmers market is great. Toward the end of June, we got the farmer from Chester comes down. We have all kinds of other ancillary shops that sell things from pickles to chocolates to peanuts and all kinds of good things. Somebody asked me about the summer concerts. They start on June 27th. Then there's a week off for 4th of July, and then there's 8 more shows after that. So what did I say? The Duprees kick it off. They come every year. People love them. The Infernos play last. They play last every year. People love them. In between, we have the Happenings, the Cameos, Time Machine, Mahoney Brothers. I never heard of them, but a lot of people asked for Mahoney Brothers, and we got them. And a lot of people say they're great. I honestly don't know anything about them. And who else? Jersey Sound is playing. Who else? You don't remember? I just read them to you. I don't remember them. So Monday night is I'm sorry? Time Machine, yep. So Monday nights is the rock at 50s and 60s at Woodbridge High School. Tuesdays is the 70s and 80s at Woodbridge High School. Even if you don't know the bands, I mean, you get to see the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, Springsteen, the British Invasion Band. They're all good, solid bands and good, solid music. Then Wednesdays are more eclectic, more fancy, more jazz and blues and salsa and all kinds of different types of music. They're over in Parker Press Park. Thursday night is the local bands. They're the ones that you think are too loud. They're the ones I think are too loud. But they're the local people. Every band has a Woodbridge connection. Is either a band member or someone who works with them that's from Woodbridge. And they play over in Tansman Park, which is right on the opposite side of the tracks as Parker Press Park. And on the Sundays is Country Sundays. And that's fun too. That's country music. We last year had more obscure bands. This year we're having more cover bands. So they'll cover, Taylor Swift and Tim Gillis and those kind of bands. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And this year we got a grant from Investors Bank, which is here today. They gave us $10,000 for some cultural arts thing. So we decided to have Friday Night Jazz, 4 Fridays in the summer. The second Friday of June, July, August, and September. And it's going to be in Avenel at Pelsman Park because we wanted to put it on the site where they're building the apartments in General Dynamics because that's going to be the arts center. That's going to be the recording studio or the performing arts center. But it's a construction site, and there's holes in the ground, and there's pipes everywhere, and the builder said, look, we can't really find room here to have the concerts, but we wanted to keep it close because when that opens, these kind of concerts are going to be there. It's going to be a great facility. So he said, let's put it as close as we can. So in Pelsman Park, which is right across Avenel Street, right next to the VFW, right behind Bud's Hut on Route 1, there's going to be 4 Friday jazz concerts. And I saw one of the bands a couple of weeks ago. They're great. It's easy listening. You bring a lawn chair, you bring some food, and just go out and have a good time. It's going to be really, really good. So that, I think we counted right there 54 free summer concerts, plus whatever the Barron Arts Center does all summer with their smaller little shows, one-man band or two-man band. So there's a lot going on in town for the summer when it comes to the concerts. Tooling around the township, just Saturday we had our Tooling Around Day. I don't know if any of you were around for it, but it was fantastic. We did 24 homes of people who couldn't afford the improvements otherwise. We're to the point now where we have a ton of help. We have all the restaurants want to bring breakfast and lunch, and all the groups want to help fix the houses. Our biggest problem is finding houses. So you have a year to think about it. By next April, if you can just quietly ask us, or if you know a house on your block that's run down that really can improve the neighborhood by having it fixed up and painted and landscaped, please let us know. It's a year away. So we have plenty of time to come up with a list for next April. And also, we have a lot going on with this. Congressman Pallone mentioned the military. Sandstone's Route 1 Auto Mall gave us a huge grant to help connect returning military men and women with jobs. It's working out fairly well. It's a great program. Actually, what's happening is he's finding people jobs, and then we have the money to pay the companies for training, and the companies aren't even asking for the money. They just like the fact that they're getting these men and women because, let's face it, people return from overseas. They're young people, they're disciplined, they're well-trained, they can handle machinery, they can handle heavy equipment. You know, they're perfect for these jobs. It's just a matter of getting them and putting them in touch with the people who need the jobs. So that's working very, very well. I'd now like to ask Dennis Green, Dennis Henry's Public Works. Dennis Green runs the health department. I would start talking about all the things he does, but it's much better coming from him since he's closer to it. So I'm going to ask Dennis Green to say a few words about all the things that the health department does.
Thank you, Mayor. Ooh, I got the microphone working okay. That's good. Okay, as the Director of Health and Human Services, I have the pleasure to oversee a lot of the programs that the seniors come in contact with on a regular basis, and we're very excited about that. We have a terrific staff. I'm sure you know a lot of them, all the different divisions. I'm going to go over a little bit about each division and what they do, but I'm sure you know a lot about what they do, and they do a lot more than I'm going to, because I don't want to sit here and talk about everything they do. But they do a terrific job, and they interact with each other on a regular basis. For example, like gladiator games. So that was two different divisions from the health department working together to provide a nice program for both the seniors and the youth. And those are the type of things we want to do all the time, going forward, not just for Youth Month and Senior Month, but all the time. So let me talk a little bit about what we do. So health education. So right now in Senior Month, we're doing skin cancer screenings, and that's Fern Coleman. She's overseeing that. And we do a lot of health education programs and health screenings. Fern oversees the implementation of the Mayor's Annual Health Expo and the Public Health Day in the springtime, so we do a lot of things with health education. And the nursing division, you probably see a lot of our nurses throughout the months and throughout the years. They go to different senior centers. They go to the different programs in different places to provide blood pressure screenings and a lot of other things. So we do different clinics and things like that at the health department. So they do a lot of stuff. So you probably interact with them on a regular basis, and we're very excited about that. Multi-services, we do a lot of things with providing social services to the community, and that's through Michelle Morgan and her social workers. They do a great job. They're constantly interacting with all of you, and she has a great staff there. We do a lot of things there. I'm going to talk a little bit about, mention what they do. They do some case management and counseling, crisis intervention. They do outreach to the senior clubs, senior residences, the senior ID program, the tax preparation program. Jody does that. Beat the Heat program, expressions groups, a lot of education programs and events. And that's another example of what we do is we go out to these different senior centers, our two senior centers, and they provide programs there. So it's a great interaction between our two different divisions and provide the programs for you. And let me talk a little bit about our two senior centers. We have two senior centers. Sycamore Senior Center is the new one. I know the mayor's going to talk a little bit about that. And Evergreen Senior Center, which has been around for a little bit. And we do a lot of different programs there, and we've been constantly trying to expand and have a variety of things there. And I'm hoping that a lot of you have taken advantage of those things. But we do educational things, exercise classes, trips, all kinds of different things there, self-defense classes, movie day, computer classes, themed luncheons. We do so many different things there. And some of these calendars up here can give you a really good example of what we do. So I really want to take you to take advantage of it. Look at what we do. If you have access to the internet, come and look at that and go on the internet and check us out and take advantage of all those different programs. And last but not least is our Municipal Alliance program. That's our drug and alcohol prevention program. A lot of things we do there are for the youth, but also for the seniors too, and they also interact and then do collaborative programs with the other different divisions. So that's a good example of what we do. I know in Senior Month we do a lot of different programs, but we also do them throughout the year. So please check us out and meet the staff. The staff are all here, so if you want to stop at their tables and talk to them about the different centers, the senior centers, and different multi-service programs and health education, and get your blood pressure taken, they'd be happy to talk to you and meet with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dennis. The important thing about all the people he mentioned is they're all here. So if you have a question on anything, see me, see Dennis. I also want to introduce Council President and First Ward Councilwoman Nancy Drum, who joined us. So Dennis mentioned the Sycamore Center. We have always wanted, since getting here, to get a second senior center, because if you look at the map of Woodbridge, Evergreen's kind of like the northwest corner, and it's not easy to get to from down around here. So we waited and waited, looked and looked, and finally, when the Port Reading Knights of Columbus indicated they were having difficulties, we came in. We turned the building into a condo so that they continued to own the top floor with a separate entrance, that they had run their business and their meetings and their operation up there, and we have the downstairs. So we turned it into the Sycamore Center, made it after a tree like Evergreen, and I'm telling you, it's been phenomenal. How many of you been there? Have you been there? All right, I mean, I get great reviews. People tell me it's great. Let me show you just a quick video, and if any of you haven't seen it, it's on Old Road and Port Reading Avenue. So it's pretty easy to get to. From Town Hall, you go down to the White Church and make a right, go over the first bridge and make your first right. It's right there. It's pretty easy to get to. So let's take a look at the video. This is fantastic because for years it's only been Evergreen. And people in Port Reading and Seawarren and Woodbridge and Fords, Hopewell, and Catesby, it's not so easy to get to the northern part of the town. We're 25 square miles, and Evergreen is in the top square mile. So it's pretty far for many of you to get to. So we're thrilled to be able to replicate that here, and this is really a replication. Everything that's in Evergreen is pretty much here. It's going to be a fantastic asset for the township, and we're very, very proud to be able to do this for our seniors. We've been looking around for a while, as I said. It's finally here.
Hello, I'm Naveen. Welcome to Sycamore Senior Center. Let's go on a tour. This is our main room. We have fantastic events that go on here. We have Zumba chair, Zumba standing, Pilates, yoga, self-defense classes for seniors. The most favorite is our bingo. We get about 160 seniors that come in here. This is the Paral room. This is where we have our movie day, our computer basic training classes, we have our meetings, we have Wi-Fi, we have great activities that take place in this room for all our seniors. This is another favorite room. It's called the McMyler Game Room, where the seniors come in and enjoy a game of pool, play poker, watch TV, or just mingle. This is the Rail Yard Cafe, where a lot of seniors like to come. We always have complimentary coffee and tea and hot chocolate. This is a place where seniors like to use our free internet, or if they want to just hang out, read the newspaper, read a magazine, or just mingle.
I love Sycamore Center. We all do. I'm president of the Woodbridge Seniors here, and we love it. Not like it, love it. The mayor had promised us something for years, and he finally came through, and we absolutely love this place. You see us out here enjoying ourselves. We meet 3-4 times a week.
We do Pilates, and we have Woodbridge senior meetings where we play bingo after it. And then on Tuesday, the majority of the seniors come and we play bingo again on Tuesday. And that's good.
I like the fact that it's generational. I'm a recent retiree, and I'm looking for more younger people to come and join me here in our exercise program.
It's fun here. Come. And if you don't have a car, the town does provide a bus for you to pick you up and bring you here and take you home. So it's just great.
We tell everyone to come. You know, it's a good place, and we waited for this a long time. And we tell our mayor, thank you very, very much.
We have parties here. It's just a terrific place to be.
We made friends, and it's a place to go instead of sitting home watching TV.
We love it. We really do.
Thank you for joining us on this tour at Sycamore Senior Center. We hope you enjoyed what you saw today. We're here from Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. Hope to see you soon. Come join the fun.
Okay, and there is no relation between Ruth McCormick and that show and me. She spells her name differently. We're not related. So, but I think that's a great place. We love it. I see soon too there'll be some kind of evergreen sycamore competitions too. I don't know in what. If it's drawing, Evergreen's going to win because Andy can just draw. If it's jigsaw puzzles, Evergreen's going to win because Francis has a club of 15 women that go down and do jigsaw puzzles every day. When I finish mine, I take them apart and give them to them, and they finish it. They do them again, and we glue them and put them up. All those puzzles in the wall are all ones that we've worked on, me and the senior ladies. So it's great. It's great. Also, don't underestimate this place. Look at today. How many people are on the track walking? There's dozens. They said at 9 o'clock today it was like almost like wall to wall. Between Silver Sneakers and all the exercise programs that we have here for seniors, the pool is open. It's relatively inexpensive to join the Woodbridge Community Center, and you get a lot. So, walk around, see Liz, see Vito, see anybody that works here, and they'll talk about it some more. Now, just two more quick announcements that we'll talk about before we close it up. We'd like to do a third senior center, and that would be in the Fords area, because when you look at the map, Evergreen's up here, and now Sycamore's over here. But down in the left-hand corner, if we had a senior center, it would just complete the puzzle. No pun intended, Louise. It would complete the puzzle. The Ford's First Aid Squad building has been vacant for a long, long time. It's physically a mess. It needs a new roof. It's got all kinds of, health problems. There's cracks in the building. There's a retaining wall falling down. A lot's wrong with it. But we still think we can get it and turn it into a senior center. It's smaller than at Sycamore, and it's smaller than Evergreen, but it would be functional. There'd be enough room to have meetings. Right now, the Ford seniors, at least they were meeting in the library, and they won't even let you have coffee in the library. And try telling seniors you can sit for an hour and a half on a Friday afternoon and not drink coffee. Forget about it. Forget about it. So, is anybody from Ford's? Have you had any meetings? Have you had meetings in Sycamore? You have, okay. So you've met there, Port Reading seniors meet there, and Woodbridge seniors meet there. If at the end of the day, if we get this building, the Ford seniors can stay home and meet right there. It's complicated because the people who own the building won't sell it to us for what we think it's worth. So we're now probably going to have a little tussle with them. The lawyers are talking. We're trying to negotiate, but I have to tell you, if that doesn't work, we'll probably take a more aggressive action to get that building. We really want it, and we really want to turn it into some other, tree-themed name for the seniors of Ford's, Hope Lawn, Caseby, and Menlo Park Terrace. So now those parts of town would go there. Woodbridge, Seawarren, Port Reading would go to Sycamore. Avenel, Liz, and Colonia have Evergreen. Doesn't mean you can't go to all of them. It doesn't mean somebody from Ford's can't go to Evergreen. You can go anywhere you want, but at least you'll have one close to home. And the other thing we're working on, and I want to be careful how I don't want to overcommit yet, but the MCAT, the Middlesex County Area-Wide Transportation, that's okay. It's not outstanding. I think you'd agree. It's not always easy to get the rides. If they drop you off at Evergreen at 9 and they're coming back at 11 and you're in the middle of something, or it's just not, oh, you can clap. So here's what we're thinking, and I didn't want to do this for the longest time because I thought it would be very, very difficult, but I think we're going to look at trying to do something ourselves on the social transportation, on the to and from the senior clubs, the to and from the fireworks, the to and from the farmers market, the to and from the concerts, but leave the county for the doctor's visits and the shopping and the specific trips leave that up to the county, let that stay with MCAT, and we might try to pick up, at least on a small basis, try to get a bus and try to ease ourselves into transportation for seniors for our events. So we have every interest in having you out at our events. I mean, the more the better. But if you can't get there, you can't get there. So maybe we have a bus, you know, before the concert, go to Evergreen, pick people up and bring them, and then go to Sycamore, pick people up and bring them. You know, we're not going to make 15 stops and get people to a concert and pick 15 people back. That's not going to work. But I don't want to overcommit. But I think we have to do a better job. We don't do any job right now, it's the county, but I think we have to take something away from the county and make it easier for you to get to our events. Would you agree? All right. And then what we would do is, again, we would leave your doctor visits. We don't necessarily want to take it all over. It's just not, we just are not equipped. We don't have buses. We have to buy one, maybe buy two. But ease into it slowly. So maybe we'll start with 1 day a week at Evergreen. We'll start with a different day a week at Sycamore and give you the time you need to be at those places. And we want you to go to our farmers market. We want you to come to the Monday night and Tuesday night concerts. So we'll work something out where we can provide that service. So if you agree, you know, feel free to tell us what your thoughts are. Greg's here, Nancy's here, John's here, Vito's here, Liz is here. Tell us what you think. And I guess that's it. So we're still doing the basic things. If you have a smartphone, you really should get our Buy Local app, because it's with a touch of a button you can find out what's going on in town. We also have, it'll also tell you where to shop, where to dine, all those things. It really publicizes Woodbridge. If you don't have the My Waste app, get that. It's simple, and you'll know when to put out your garbage, when to put out your recyclables, when to put out your special pickup, when the leaf collection is going to be, all that just on a push of a button. Because you can't follow what I do, because I put it out on the wrong night, and then my whole neighborhood figures, oh, the mayor must know what's right. And they all put it out, and then the garbage truck doesn't come. So don't do it. Don't follow what I do. Get the app. All right, are there any questions? Yes. I'm sorry? The farmers market is in Parker Press Park. It is right across from Town Hall. There's a little strip mall with Not Just Bagels, by the way, the best bagels in the town. And right behind that is a park. It's a beautiful park. We just put a new building on it. Eagle Scouts have done picnic tables and park benches and a stage, all done by Eagle Scout projects. It's beautiful. Right next to the train, yeah.
Start the last Wednesday in June?
It starts the last Wednesday in June. Yes. So, see me after. See me after. You have an idea, you said? You have an idea, you said? Oh, an issue. Okay, see me after instead of... Right. That's the problem. See, we don't run MCAT. Yeah, there's not much we can do about MCAT. I'll talk to you afterwards, though. Any other questions? Yes. Every Wednesday from the last Wednesday in June through just about the last Wednesday in October. And we pair it, we have all kinds of special things happening that we try to bring people out to it. So it's the same night as the concerts. A lot of people will come, listen to the show, pick up their produce, and they combine it. They combine it. Anything else? Thank you all for coming out. Please stick around. And we have a lot of people here that will talk to you about anything you need. Thanks.